This week on the grid, we have another Scottless episode, and we're going to be joined by Rammy, and we're going to be doing blind photo critiques, and it all starts in just a few minutes.
The grid is brought to you by Platypod, the tripod alternative that is changing the world. Everybody has a Platypod. You should too. Go to platypod.com.
All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the grid. And we're going to kick it off here. We got a guest coming in. So I think Rammy's on the line as well. Yeah, there we go. So we got Rammy joining us for the show. Hey, Rammy, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Doing great, keeping busy. So that's always good. I just came off of a week-long air show. So it's a Sun and Fun air show. So I was doing that, and I know you're up in the frozen tundra. So how's that going? Is it thawing out yet?
You know what? I actually just lost the snow literally about 4 days ago. It's finally
Awesome.
free of snow now.
There you go. There you go. All right. Well, the only thing is, there is a nice part about snow, as we always talk about with landscape photography. It certainly simplifies the scene, doesn't it?
It sure does. It sure
Yeah.
does.
Well, hey, wanted to talk about a couple things coming up. So you're going to be joining me and Scott and a few other instructors at the Lightroom Conference coming up in just a couple weeks, right?
Yes, that's going to be
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. So what are you teaching there?
I am doing a couple of classes. One of them is going to be specifically on masking and selections. Like I'm just going to go deep into the best way and, mostly focusing on the AI part and then how to do all that masking stuff in Lightroom. And then the other one is just going to be one of those watch me edit type thing where I just go to a few different images and I just edit them and it'll be great. Can't wait.
It is. It's amazing. Isn't it amazing that the AI masking has really caused me to like free up from doing a lot of like manual mask or even tablets and using that kind of stuff. I've even started to really use heavily that intersect feature. I don't know how much you use that feature,
Yep.
but
Yep.
I'm using it all the time, like that whole like Venn diagram where you can kind of like intersect the two together, and it's really cool.
Yeah, it is definitely changing how we edit in Lightroom, that's for sure.
That is for sure. Um, yeah, no, I'll be teaching. I got a night photography class there. I'm teaching just about how to do your night photography all in Lightroom. So that's going to be really cool. Obviously, the only thing is sometimes we have to jump over to Photoshop if we want to do compositing, but as you know, it's just what we got to do, especially for sky replacements. That's still kind of the little caveat there.
Yeah. I'm
Um,
surprised
but
they haven't
yeah,
added that
it's
yet to the Lightroom.
yeah, I've got a feeling it's gonna come. I got
Yeah,
a
I think
feeling
so.
it's gonna. It's like the one thing that, like, from a general perspective, if it had the ability to do sky replacements, like Photoshop can do sky replacements, just with the sky replacement feature, I think that would probably knock out a lot of the major reasons to flip over there. Um,
Yeah.
so it would be cool if they added that. We'll see.
Yeah, for
All
sure.
right, so we got that coming up. You also have a workshop. You still have one spot open for it. If somebody want to jump on it last minute, it's next month, right?
Yep,
So just a
I
couple
do.
weeks.
It's coming up quickly. It's gonna be Caddo Lake, and I still have one spot there. I had a late cancellation, and it's gonna be a really good discount if you want to talk to me about it. I know it's short, but let me know. Yeah, well, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Uh,
So I can just reach out to
our
you on your website,
Yeah, we're gonna be doing like
rammyk.com, or email,
yeah, or
or
rammyk.com, and then you could just email me from there. It's actually very interesting. It's gonna be one of the workshops where we get in a canoe and we go and shoot right off the house that we're staying in, and then we do like boat tours. We shoot off the boat, and it's very different and very cool. So
yeah,
I'm really
definitely
excited.
different than what you usually do, because
Yeah,
sometimes, especially in the winter, it's a lot of snowshoe hiking kind of stuff. So this is
yeah, this
more.
is super easy.
Yeah, super easy compared to that. Oh yeah. I've been out there with you, and it's an adventure, that's for sure, in the snow, but it's what you
Yeah,
got to do to get those shots.
for sure.
All right, and so we've got those coming up. The other thing we have is we have some prizes to give away today. So we've got a Platypod handle we're going to be giving away on the show. We're giving one of those away. We're giving away a copy of Scott's Lightroom Classic book, which you can get over on Amazon, but somebody's going to win that today. And then Scott's How Do I Do That in Lightroom book as well. And then also my night photography book we're going to be giving away, and a copy of On One No Noise we're going to be giving away as well. So to enter that, all you got to go is to our website, which I was asking the guys earlier. I know there's a link for it, so maybe we'll drop that in the chat, or they will bring it up on screen to enter that. I think it's kel.by/something. I'm not sure what that is, but I'm sure they'll drop that in the chat. So there it is right there on screen, right there. So they'll drop that in the chat, and then at the end of the show, we will pick the winners and we'll get you out your prizes. I love this way to do it because that way we don't have to have you email us and track you down. So it's really easy. So, all right. So let's get started. So we're talking blind photo critiques today. So people submitted their images. Obviously, if they put watermarks on their images and has your name, well, we can't do anything about that. But we're just Rammy and I are gonna look at the 3 images and then just kind of give a just honest critique. This is blind, so that way we can be honest. We can tell you what your friends and family will always tell you, and has told me forever. You know, you should see the images as friends and family, and they go, "That's awesome, that's great, you shoot great," you know, all that stuff. But you never get that like honest feedback of like, well, what does your image actually say? What is it communicating? How does it look? All that good stuff. So let's start off with these first 3 here. So looks like we're doing some motocross. Yep.
Yep.
All right. So what do we think here, Rammy? What would you say?
You know, I personally like them. They are decent.
Yeah.
You know, they definitely are capturing that moment. I may be a little bit biased because of, how I love motocross myself.
Yeah. There is
But
a bias that comes in as photographers,
yeah,
but
but you got the motion in the background while the bike's frozen there. Although I may see a little bit too much of the whole background thing happening versus the
I
bike
agree.
itself.
That's the one thing, is it's just very hard with this photo with having that car sitting right above,
Yeah,
the SUV sitting right above him. I
yeah,
feel like on the turn as it's going further, which you could say, hey, that's the one I got in focus, or that's the one I got the shot right, but that background is competing with it, right?
yeah. It
So
is.
yeah.
It is.
And then this is really nice peak
Yeah.
moment of action, right?
Definitely nice moment of action. I mean, again, it's kind of hard. Again, the background is a little bit working against it, but the moment of action is perfect. It's frozen. It's a really good, I think, overall cropping and composition wise. Mostly, it's pretty. I like it. I like that how
I
it's
agree. A couple things that I would really point out right here on the horizon, these are not helping you at all. And
no.
these poles are not helping you at all.
Yeah.
I would just lose all those.
Yep.
I would just go in and just use the remove tool and just remove them. They're just not helping the photo. And now, if you said to me again, when I'm talking about remove, if you say to me, I'm working for a magazine, I'm a photojournalist, and I cannot remove anything, totally different. But if you're just a photographer, like, it's our job a lot of times to simplify the frame, and taking these things out is going to simplify the story more about what you're going to do. This is probably my least favorite of the 3. What do you think?
I mean, yeah. I mean, like it's just that it's that tree at the bottom left there, kind of like kind of it's not really balanced composition. I like
Correct.
the
Yeah.
fact that he's frozen and he sort of looks like he's an extension of the bike. Uh, but other than that, I mean, like I said, the techniques of the camera seem to be pretty good in all 3
Yeah.
photos as far as capturing the moment. It's just a matter of finding, okay, how can I remove distractions really? with these photos, I think.
Or like you said, it's the composition
Yeah,
that, the tree is just in a weird spot. I like how you're seeing the tree because then hey, look they're up really high. They're above a palm tree. Like I
yeah,
get that. But and then also it's kind of sitting dead center, which is
yeah.
kind of
Maybe crop the
compositionally
top.
kind of
Yeah,
a weird thing,
yeah. I
right?
would just crop it. Maybe the top right
Yeah,
corner.
take
Just
out
grab
this.
that, bring
Yeah.
it in a little bit.
Yep. Cool. Well, there we go. All right. So it looks like we got some horse racing here. So out of the gates, racing by, and then coming down the home stretch there. Right. So what do we think here?
Yeah, I mean, again, actions frozen nicely, but here at this, the gates open, they're coming out, but what's the story? You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's just a lot going on. I mean, this is kind of a messy scene, right? It's
Yeah,
kind of a mess, when they come out of the gate. So I think it'd be better to come in tighter, and see maybe just 3, 4, 5 here,
yeah,
like seeing like in that tight. When you're this wide, there's just a lot of chaos going on.
yeah,
Kind of doesn't help to simplify the scene. So that's where I'd probably pull in. If it was me, I would have pulled into maybe even 6 right here, 6, 5, and 4, kind of like right in there. That's where I feel like you just being in a little tighter.
yeah,
But as far as this one, the one thing about this is that it is just frozen, so
yeah,
and it's a weird position for the horse. Like if you look at it, the
yeah.
horse, it's kind of like in just a weird point in the gallop, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you definitely want, like I said, it's that when it comes to sports, like I'm a landscape photographer, but when you look at sports photography and things like this, it's always about that perfect moment where, a split second later, this could have been an amazing composition, just the way the horse was standing and was frozen versus this. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's on the back haunch gallop, and it needs to be like a full forward motion. It's just a weird moment. And again, that's the thing with sports. It's about that timing. It's about that peak moment of action. See, here at least you've got that forward gallop going. But I'm concerned about this. The two horses are running into one another. There's no clear like the one and the two and the horse behind are just like not separated enough. It doesn't have enough separation. They're kind of all just blending together. What do
Well,
you
what I
think?
see here is that it's not just the horse, it's not just the 8 legs there, but it's also combining that with those posts there. It just looks like there's way
Yeah.
too many things happening over there.
Yeah, and this is also one where just more compression, zooming in, more compression, getting farther back, it's kind of everything's getting lost here. So
Yeah.
I think that's kind of my overall feedback on all of these is I would like to see you get tighter. Getting tighter is going to help too with again that background separation that we were talking about. And again, you might say, well, but I know you have a tighter lens because you're zooming in to 170 here and you're at 70 here. So just coming in tighter, getting in more in the action, I think you're going to like your shots better. All right. All right, we got some landscapes here, Remy, so I'll let you take this one.
Okay,
Ooh,
okay. All
all
right.
right. What do we think?
Yeah, no, I like the first one and the last one. The one in the middle is more like, can you just go to the one in the middle there for a second? Yeah, I mean, that's more of it's like, here's my drone type thing, but
Or I'm just at the top of a ridge and I just pulled out
yeah,
the camera and snap.
yeah. I mean, the lighting is great and all, but I would wait. You see some of the lighting you can see of that town coming up. I would maybe wait a little bit more longer just to make sure
Yeah.
that we get into that darker hours. That would really transform this photo if you waited a little bit longer, because this is like earlier. You can see the lights are coming out. You're nearly there, but
Yeah.
overall the composition as well. It's just way too confusing. So but the first two there, they're much well thought out shots there. That first one there, I know where that is.
Yeah. So this one, again,
Dolomites.
yeah.
Yeah.
Great
Um,
light, great,
yeah,
it's got a good
atmosphere,
composition. Yeah.
backlit scene, the light's great. There's it's a fairly simple composition, but that atmosphere is there. It's the right time, really subtle on the colors, but just works. I like it.
Yeah,
I
it's
really
almost like this is one where I'll say it's like a jarring switch because like this photographer then took this shot,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
And
It
it's kind
doesn't
of like,
match.
whoa, that's totally different. And two, the toning on this, the colors, it just looks better than this. Now I know that's probably the light you had, but you submitted your best three.
Yeah.
And what do you think about this?
Yeah, this one again, definitely much more effort into this one. Right time. I'm not sure if I like his pose there. Like I would probably put him
Yeah.
somewhere in situations like this. If you want to put someone in your shot, you probably want a nice separation between that person and the background. So right now, half of his body is being cut by that water
Oh,
in the background, and then the other half is the mountain. So if he was maybe somewhere where it was only water behind him,
yeah,
that
like
would really
move
make him stand out.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah, because you see, like if he was over here, he'd be all over water.
yeah,
He wouldn't be connecting with the landscape like that. And then two, it is a weird pose. It's like it's
yeah,
gesturing down, but then the hand is kind of like back.
yeah,
It's just it's not a great silhouette or not a great pose
yeah,
for that. And that's usually what helps too is not making the person in the scene, but not making the scene about just the person
yeah.
for these landscape type of people shots.
Yeah, for sure. But other than that, I mean, for sure, the colors, great color harmony there, right time of day, all that stuff is pretty good. Um,
Compositionally too, you got this ridge that's coming down,
yeah, it's
lighting.
definitely not a bad composition at all. Yeah,
Yeah. I think that's the only thing I'm having a problem with is position of the I feel like I would have said stand over here. So it's
yeah,
over the water.
yeah. Positioning the
Or stand over
person,
here, but I don't think he could have stand over here and been in the water. I think it would have been better over here.
yeah, somewhere you want to just really just make them stand out, even if you just move yourself. But it's
Mm-hmm.
hard. It's really tough depending on where you are and where you can go in landscapes. Because I know I've been doing this, and sometimes it's just very sketchy where you want to go and shoot. So
Yes,
it gets
yes.
pretty tough.
That definitely happens. Yeah. Well, cool. So yeah, I think overall it's this middle one's just not cutting it compared to these other two that you're doing. And then
Yeah,
with this last one, it's just really making sure the placement of the person is not fighting with the landscape.
yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, we have to take a break, but when we come back, we will just be hitting some more images, and we'll be back here in just a couple minutes. So see you in just a minute.
Come join us at KelbyOneLive.com and build your photography skills online. Training is our expertise. Each of you deserves to master Adobe Lightroom. Learn from the best in the business with over 20 sessions. We are dedicated to making you proficient in Adobe Lightroom. Get a competitive advantage and access the digital library for a full year. It's time to join us.
I'm really excited to tell you about my latest KelbyOne class, the AI Mindset. Now, in this class, I introduce you to the exciting world of AI imaging for photographers. I cover how you can easily transform your snapshots into a more artistic image. I'll also show you how to create AI videos, like the short video I created from a still photo I took in Death Valley. AI is just the newest tool I am using to express my creative vision. It's a tool I think you will enjoy using too. This class is not about buttons and menus. It's about how to think about AI and how you can express your creative vision. You will see that with AI, you are many things: an artist, an art director, a graphic artist, a storyteller, and much more. Here I created an image that illustrates that we are just on the tip of the AI iceberg. So I really hope you can join me for my latest class only on KelbyOne.com.
Hey guys, Frank Dorhoff here. Welcome in our studio in the Netherlands and welcome to a new class on KelbyOne. Do you ever wonder, like, how can we get more creative with our photography? Are you a little bit afraid when you look at those websites and you can see all those props and they are pretty expensive and you don't know what to buy? Why not start with the stuff that you already have? Why not get some, let's say, emergency blankets, or maybe get a torch? If the light is too bright or too large, use a little bit of piece of cardboard. You will find out that in this class, you will look at your photography equipment in a totally different way. There are no more excuses. I don't have expensive gear. I don't have expensive backdrops. After this class, you will make the best of even an emergency blanket. Join me on this new class on KelbyOne to create great images with cheap materials that you can find in and around your house. And you probably already have a load of them that I'm going to show you in this class. See you online.
All right, we're back and we're looking at photos with Rammy here, and we're doing some blind photo critiques. So we got these next set of images. Looks like we're at an air show. Looks like we might, I think actually we are at Sun and Fun. So this is somebody at Sun and Fun. So let's go through the images here. So we got 1, 2, and 3. And I mean, these are all great to me. I don't know. What's your thoughts, Rammy?
Yeah, no,
first?
I love the last one for sure. This one
Yeah.
here, again, if it was just me, I would maybe give that tail of that helicopter just a little more room, just a
Yeah.
little more room.
It feels tight. It feels tight
yeah.
on that edge. Yeah.
Yeah, and then maybe just clean up the background just a little bit. Other than that, great moment of action.
I agree here. I think I might cut out the guy that's sitting on the field, and then maybe these pyro, that this looks like pyro boxes that they had on the field. I
Yeah.
might just kill those. Again, if you were like, no, I'm doing reporting for a newspaper, totally different. But for you,
Yeah.
I would do it. And then I agree with Rammy. I just think it's a little tight on there on the back side there. So just maybe a little looser with your framing. And then I love this. I just love the story there of having, you know, when you have just if you took out the flag and just had the Thunderbirds off in the distance, it's just like an okay shot. But when you have the flag, the huge flag in there with them, it really takes it up a notch.
Yep. I love the story here. I like the way the flag is frozen there. Perfect. I like how there's that light behind that there, behind the flag even. It's just, yeah, it's a great shot.
And compositionally, you got nothing distracting or anything like that.
Not really.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
this
then,
one,
yeah, this one's great. I mean,
yeah.
you know, I was there. I mean, this is the best time when it's the great thing about Sun and Fun is they do 2 sunset twilight air shows, which they should all be that time, in my opinion, because that's when you get this. Now, I would say that if it was me, I'd probably open up the shadows on the jet a little bit more, like through a selection, and then also possibly warm up the background a little bit, you know. I guess I could do it for you, but
yeah, just a little bit of contrast between the background and the subject to make it pop a
yeah.
little bit more.
So like if we just I'm using a new install. And we got the subject. And then you see, like, I could just go in here. I would probably just open up the shadows and maybe warm up that a little bit. And then I would just go select probably the sky as well. And then warm up the sky. Maybe take down the exposure just a little bit. Maybe take out some of that green in there. But you see how now we've got like the warmth that was in the sky that just wasn't there before.
Yeah.
And you can see there before and after. I just warm it up. But that's me. Just because it was a sunset thing, I would probably add that warmth into it.
Yeah. No, I agree. It just needs to stand out a little more. So otherwise, great shot.
Yeah. All right. Looks like we've got some windmills here. Ooh, I like these. What do you think?
I like them. Yeah. You know, simple composition when you got that, you know, perfect, except this one, the only problem with this one is that, you know, you are showing all of the reflections of your main subjects there, except for the one in the middle, which is being cut at the bottom there.
Yeah, sorry.
You see
Right
there
here.
between that one versus the last shot, it's a completely
Yeah.
different story. So
Right there. If you look right here,
yeah,
and then go back to the first one we was talking about, is right there.
it's like you were nearly there, but you know, and then again, honestly, that second one is really good. Again, that's all about shooting it at the right time, right? You shot it at the right time. Perfect exposure for all the lighting inside that those little buildings there, and all. Yeah, it's great.
This is actually, I think, my favorite one. It's just compositionally. Also, it's just it has a surreal look with still feeling realistic. You know, it looks like cinematic. I don't know, just it looks peaceful. All the good things. You know, the only thing for me is like this one windmill is kind of like running into this tree, but can't do anything about that.
Not
I don't
really.
know,
Yeah.
again, you could
No,
remove
these
it,
are
but
just, it's just simple compositions where you just, if
yeah.
there's nothing interesting in the foreground and you have a pond or something where you just put your subject right in the middle where the reflection is exactly the same as what's on the top, it always works. If you got nothing interesting happening. Now, if there was something interesting in the foreground, you would want to frame the bottom of the shot, and then that would really make it cool. But, you don't always have that luxury, so.
Yeah, and I also noticed another thing is, so I love the last two. It's this first one that kind of like is messing with me, but I think it's only because of that reflection, and then because the sky is so like not giving you a lot compared to the other
Yeah,
ones.
easily fixed in post though. But yeah,
Yeah,
I would probably guess that it would be very easy in Photoshop to get
yeah,
that
to like boost it.
reflection built in Photoshop, and then just work put a little bit of colors into the highlights there, and then darken it down a touch, and you're good to go.
Yeah. All right, awesome. Okay. All right. What do you think? It's a long pause.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's like the last one is like the last shot there is pretty artistic to me. I like that a little bit more than the rest, and it sort of like tells me that like it's almost like a different photographer compared to the one in the middle. Like that one
Mm-hmm.
is just like, okay, it's a goose, right? And there's really
Yeah, there's goose with a duck running behind
yeah,
it. And
blown out a little bit, highlights as well in the sky. And I think it's a little bit overcooked again, just a little bit too much blues around the branches there. The goose is not necessarily doing anything interesting. It's just really just dead smack in the center of the bottom of the shot. There's really nothing. When you see that versus the last shot, is like, okay, I mean, it's a little bit different, but
well, and you're probably like, I mean, especially there, lighting, right? That
yeah,
immediately you saw where you wanted me to look. Given the composition and lighting, I knew exactly where to look. Here, there's just not anything that's drawing you down, like you're saying, uniquely to the goose in the front.
yeah. Oh,
And
I even missed that. There's a duck behind.
that's what I was saying. I
Goose.
immediately saw the distracting duck behind the goose. Then the other thing that's killing me with this shot, it's just killing it, is this dead tree to the left. It's
Yeah,
an amazing sky, but then that dead tree is like, because you have the goose kind of centered, then the weight of that tree just pulls everything away from where you're wanting me to look. So
yeah,
I don't know if that makes sense to people, but
yeah.
it's
And
like
that
I'm wanting to look where you want me to look, but then this distracting tree is just up there. Now, you could remove that tree very easy.
yeah,
So, I mean, if you wanted to, you could remove that tree, and I think it would make it better. But then you have to do some things to enhance. There's this duck that's distracting, and then there's something right here,
there's that
which I
other
believe
duck
is
there. I
another
just
duck.
saw that.
is
This
another
image keeps
duck
on
that's
giving.
distracting to it. So immediately my eye went here. What is that? Oh, what is this mistake? And then my eye keeps on going, what's this up here? You know,
Yeah.
because you got a beautiful sky, you got an awesome fall landscape, but it's like there's stuff just competing with everything.
Yeah,
So
and then the color of that goose is not really helping either. Just kind of
yeah,
blends in with the foreground. So
yeah, it needs some separation. But the hard part, and I think why I'm landing on this is I think there's something here. It just needs to be worked. Now, this first one, it's just okay. Like this is the one that to me is just like it's just okay. Um, it's not of the three. This is the weakest to me.
yeah.
But again, it's nothing wrong per se. I mean, other than like what do you want me to look at? I mean, it's cool clouds and the sunset reflecting in the buildings, but
Yeah.
they're just
And
kind
then
of
also there's way too much sky compared to the water
yeah,
here.
like
So
I got this sliver of here, but then all this blue up here. So yeah, but I agree with her. This one is the one though that I think lighting and composition and story wise, I like this the best. Excuse me. All right, man. Apologies. All right.
this is you, man. This is you.
Yeah. Oh, this is you though. Oh, and this is us. This is all of us. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Get something. Figure that out. All right. First one. I actually think the way you were using light painting on the foreground, great. I love how you did a highlight color that's a little different than the shadow color, gives that kind of depth and dimension to the object. I like how also you didn't make it so prominent in the scene that the Milky Way was kind of like you're seeing a lot of sky. I like this one. I would probably cut down on the amount of stars. I think that there's too many stars in your scene. It starts when there's too many stars, it starts looking like noise. So that's the one thing that I would probably do here is cut down on the stars, which you could do very easy. You could do it over in Photoshop, but if you want to do it in Lightroom, you could just go over, select sky, and take your texture down, and then take your clarity up, and that will combat that sky full of stars, because you don't want the full of stars. You want it to be defined with stars, but not be overwhelming with stars. Do you have any other feedback there, Ramy?
No, I think that's right there. That's all I wanted
All
to say.
right, what do you think about this one?
I like the minimalistic style there. I mean, you're just isolating that subject. Compositionally, it's good. Typically, normally it's tough to pull these shots when you have a when you got a lot of negative space that you want to use, and then you have a subject. Number one, your subject needs to be really, really strong, and stand out. And this sort of does. I like it. It's good. Although it could be really better if it was a better looking tree compositionally. But other than that, I mean, it's a very minimalistic shot that sort of, it works. It's decent.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, I love what you're going for here. It's just the tree's a little, it's not the most photogenic
Yeah,
of the trees,
exactly.
right? Like that's what Ramy's saying. And two, there's just like one branch that's sticking out here
Yeah.
that just has it has no balance to it. Definitely would take out that one branch, but it's just not the most interesting. And then the other thing that's throwing me off is you see how the horizon is like the trees on the horizon and the landscape on the horizon is really flat, then it goes
Yeah.
up, but right on the edge it juts up,
Right.
right? I think I would like cropped it right here.
Yeah.
I would have ended it right here, so I
Yeah,
wouldn't
I
have had that
agree.
jut up on the end, which is just pulling my eye to the right, away from where you want me to look, because it's jutting up there at the end.
Yeah, because it's just way too clean for that to happen at the end there.
Yes. So what we're saying is crop it right here,
Yeah.
like right where the horizon is kind of all equal and before it juts up. I do that and I clean up this. And you could, if you wanted to, make that tree a little bit more balanced with, cloning some stuff and moving stuff around.
Yeah, warp it.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So, we're over here at Yosemite.
This is great.
So, yeah, I love this one. I actually love the like soft kind of like Orton effect that they have on the image.
Yeah, this is a great shot. You got everything happening here. You got the color, you got the atmosphere. I would maybe just work on that color a touch more. You see how the bottom of the frame is being, the bottom of the picture is being framed with these trees that at the top of them is being highlighted. I can see that you kind of worked a little bit of dodging and burning there probably, and I like that. Maybe do a little bit more of that, make that mist a little bit more prominent. But like, I love it. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm just being picky to tell you that you could really take this to the next level. But like, overall, the composition is amazing. I like it. Yeah, it's a great shot. You got atmosphere.
This is my favorite, definitely, too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Great
But
shot.
that's what, I would focus in on that. But you're doing a great job all around. So.
Oh yeah.
All right. Okay. So I'm gonna say with this first one, it's just a terrible placement of the ball, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just right over the nose and mouth,
Yeah.
right? So it's with action. And that's part of the game, you know. And then too, it's needs to be processed down. It's too just flat and doesn't have enough contrast. Doesn't have, but again, I would have just passed this one up because that ball placement is just, it's not in the right spot. Any other thoughts there?
No, I mean, yeah, the first thing that jumped out of me was that ball placement was just covering his face. That's the only thing that really, yeah, I mean, and then the rest of the images, yeah, like this, I mean, yeah, but
It's okay. I mean, it's okay. It's good. I mean, now you've got that like decal at the bottom, but it's kind of like the decal's cut off.
Yeah.
And then too, the decal is just distracting to the scene. You've got blue and red, and then you've got this green coming in there. And again, I know you're saying, well, I mean, that's where, I don't know, maybe it would be better to crop it off right above it where you didn't see it.
Yeah, I would just get rid of that decal there. And then this to me, just when I look at this shot, it just looks like, you know, your friend said, hey, can you just take a shot of me?
Can you snap a shot of me? That's what this is. Because
it.
there's a sign behind his head. So like in the worst possible space for a sign to be, which is you're got to move to do that. And then there's just random cars back here. There's a random car on the side here. There's signs coming out. Now, again, if you wanted to, you could remove all those distracting things. You could frame it in tight. But again, it kind of does feel snapshotty compared to the others.
It's definitely just a snapshot. Yeah.
All right. Well, we have to take a break. So when we come back, we're going to be looking at some more images right here in just a few minutes. And then we'll be giving away the prizes as well. Again, check the chat. I know they're putting the link in the chat for submitting the prizes. So I'll see you back here in a couple minutes.
Hi, this is Hilmar Smith. Light doesn't have to be boring, and light doesn't have to be soft. I'm gonna teach you how to introduce hard light and hard shadows into your photography stories. I'm gonna teach you how you can introduce color, how you can play and make really the best out of your set with all of my favorite tricks and with all of my favorite gear. So if you really want to level up your lighting, come and join me in my newest class at KelbyOne.com.
Hey, I'm Jeff Leinbach. I just finished recording my latest class, A Practical Guide to Picking the Right Lens. I'm here with a bunch of lenses, and we have a great class for you. We talk about different varieties of lenses, different types of lenses, some lens features that you may not have heard of. We even talk about specific lenses for specific uses in photography. For example, if you're a landscape photographer, what are the best lenses to use? If you are an architectural photographer, what are the lenses that I want to make sure that I'm looking at? Those are the things that we're going to talk about in this class. I also have a handful of quick tips that might help you take care of your gear and make your gear function better as we go along. So I encourage you to join me at KelbyOne.com.
Come join us at KelbyOneLive.com and build your photography skills online. Training is our expertise. Each of you deserves to master Adobe Lightroom. Learn from the best in the business with over 20 sessions. We are dedicated to making you proficient in Adobe Lightroom. Get a competitive advantage and access the digital library for a full year. It's time to join us.
All right, we're back and we're doing some more critiques. So here we go. We're going to go through our next images here. So, all right, we're up in the Canadian Rockies there.
Yes, we are.
I've been standing there right with you. Of course, when we were standing there, it was covered with snow.
Yep. Yeah.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you think, Rammy? I'm gonna defer to you on these.
Yeah, I mean, so this first one here versus the second one, it's the same mountain, but that second shot is definitely it's got something more in it there. For me, you know, you got the trees, you got that sort of like an S curve there. There's more to it. It just overall post-processing wise, it does look a little bit overcooked, sort of. If that's the right word to use, but it's go back to the first one again. Yeah, so this one here, I mean, you're at the right place, right? But something like that, you know, the timing of the year is your problem here. Mountains, you know, when you look at that mountain there, it looks like it's overcooked. You know, it's very easy to overcook a mountain like that when you shoot it at that time of year. That's probably early, you know, early spring or spring when there's still some snow on the mountain, but then you got that contrast between that and the rocks. And then it's just overall, it just looks like there's way too much blues in your shadows there. So, versus that last shot, for example, if you look at your last shot, see how the lighting here is nice and soft and beautiful to look at, you know, versus that first shot. So I would say focus on your lighting a little bit more. Do more of that last shot.
Well, and I know with when I've been out with you to places like this,
Yeah.
You're definitely shooting during blue hour or before the sun really peaks over the mountains.
Yeah, I have
What
a
I've seen.
shot if you want to pull it up from there.
Yeah.
So this is my shot from that location. I took it just this last workshop that I had going on in the Rockies, and you can see that just because, you know, we were nearly just about to pack up and go, but I'm like, you know what, let's just wait, and then color just showed up. Right, you can see the difference. It's the same mountain, same location, same type of composition. I got the rocks, you got the rocks, I got everything. But you know, the time of year and then the time of day is the
Time
only
of day
difference
is a
here.
big thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I notice is I would say, you know, seems like 8 times out of 10, you're shooting in what I would call twilight, right?
Yeah.
Before the sun comes over the horizon. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. You guys landscape, you folks that do landscapes, you always got to just embrace those super late hours, because that's when light, that harshness goes away. When you look at this photograph right now that I'm looking at, all I can see is just harshness everywhere, and you could just easily get rid of that if you're way too, for sunrise well before sunrise, and for sunset after sunset. So that's how I was able to get those rocks to be softer, because I
Yeah.
waited, much longer to take that shot.
All right. Let's see here. Mm. Mhm. These are all interesting. Definitely like them. What do you think?
When I look at the first shot here, for me, it's my favorite shot, the first one.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
everything is just pointing at her, like the buildings, the whole thing's leading to the girl
Yeah.
walking down that beam.
Yeah, and it works, of course, great in black and white, of course, because it's super high key there, and then she's perfectly right in the center, and then she's dark and silhouetted. It's looking, of course, if those two were not on the right, it would be a better shot, in my opinion, but maybe it's a story of a family. I don't know.
It looks like a story of a family, because I think I'm seeing. I think the boy and girl are the same boy and girl. Just looking at their hair and the body,
Yeah.
it's the same as this.
But what I'm trying to say, I guess,
Possibly.
is if you could get the family with the same lighting that you got her at, that would be really just make that shot. But I like this a lot better than, like, for example, the second one. I'm like, what happened there? Right?
Yeah, the second one is the one I see what they're going after, of like they're trying the girl's tired over there, but they're not showing the faces. And it's nice and soft, but compositionally, it's just not working like the other, right?
No, not at all.
I see what you're going for. It's just not hitting as much as the other one. It's just kind of, it's okay. And then this one's the same. It's good, but that first one is just so good. And I think that's what's happening with this sequence, is they're good shots. That first one, I love this. But I see what you're saying, Remy. Like, yeah, if it was just the girl walking down that center of that frame, oh, that would be
That'd
be award winner.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, like, you could see that it's a perfect, she's frozen perfectly, she's walking, you can see the whole story. When the next two shots just sort of like, I don't know, I'm not a fan of the rest of the people in the shot being cut like that. Same as the last one. They're both being cut the way where it's just not
Yeah, it's
really,
uncomfortable.
yeah, not a really comfortable cut of composition there. You just cut their body like that. It's just weird. I don't know.
Well, I think with this one, it's there's all this space here. Like,
Yeah.
but again, you're trying stuff. I give you that. But
Well,
that first
like I said,
one,
do more of the first one.
dude, yeah, keep on doing this. Whatever
Yeah.
you're doing here, keep on doing it. I love how you're low, all that stuff.
Yeah,
Great.
it's a great shot.
Okie doke. Hmm.
Interesting stuff.
Yeah, it's all interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I like
mean,
that
love
you're
the
really
lighting
working on the
here.
lighting there.
Yeah. Love how it's rimmed. I have that highlight on the right side that's a little stronger than the left side. Nothing's cut off weird. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you got that lighting figured out for these things, that's for sure.
There's a weird, like, there's a little like smudge right there or
Yeah,
something. I
clean
was
up a
looking
little
at
bit.
Yeah, you could clean that up. It's a good shot. Might as well clean it up. And this is nice. I mean, boy, it's making a bottle of Arbor Mist look amazing.
It is, yeah, no, it's a great shot.
Yeah, I love the effect and all that.
Yeah, pretty cool.
I
I'm not
do.
an expert in product photography, but
Yeah, I mean, there's some
it
weird
looked good to
stuff
me.
happening up here with the bottle and all that, but That's the kind of stuff I would kind of work on. And then this is nice. It's probably my least favorite, just
Yeah.
because the table, you've got the orange juice is kind of like, I know you're splashing the orange juice, but then you have the splashes of the orange juice already landed on the table. And then
Yeah.
you've got these specular highlights with the harshness of the light hitting the front oranges. That's just
Yeah.
drawn me over there. It's not as great of lighting as your other two. So
Yeah. But you're not
and
far
then
though. I mean, we're being picky here. These
and
are
we're being really
they're
picky.
all
These are all great shots. The other thing with this one, it's leaning. The right side of the image is
yeah.
higher than the left side of the image, so it's
Yeah.
leaning.
I feel like
So
that space there on the right is too heavy and I feel like it just needs to move to the left a little bit.
yeah. All right. But we're being picky there. We're
Yeah.
doing great stuff. All right. We'll do this one, then we're gonna take our final break. Okay. You're shooting at the right time of day,
Yeah.
but I'm just not seeing what you're seeing that you're shooting.
Yeah, I mean, versus this one, go to the next ones again. This one is cool, but if you had like, I mean, there's just too much. Like, I love that,
Yeah,
what's
there's
going
just
on
too
the
much in all
right-hand
these.
side with those cars and the road and the movement. That's all great, but then that on the left, way too much blues. It's like, what am I looking at? Which one's my subject here? What am I looking at? What's the story?
That's what I feel like about all these. You
Yeah.
know. And then with this, it's like it's just I don't know if like do you want me to look at the bridge? Do you want me to look at the opera house? And then it's kind of cropped in, kind of tight at a weird crop.
Yeah.
Then you got the people walking on top of the bridge, but there's just too much going on. Too much going on. And then there's a lot going on, you know?
Yeah, that's what I would say. I would say you could probably crop this shot better, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Like that round thing to the left, that's not really
The
helping your
Ferris wheel.
composition at all.
Well, especially in the position it's at. It's right at the edge of the frame.
Yeah, but other than that, your lighting, the time of day, your processing as far as, capturing it, I think you're on the right track. But I think what you're missing is what is my story, how to simplify the story to convey what I'm trying to show. You know what I mean?
I'm 100% in agreement. All three of these images, that's the problem. You're shooting at the right time of day. You're doing the right stuff. You're just not seeing the story and the subject and the framing and putting those things in line to balance out and really tell a story with your composition.
Yeah.
All right. We got to take a final break. We'll be back here in a couple minutes. We're going to wrap up with a couple more, and then we got to give away some prizes on the show. So we'll be back in just a couple minutes.
1, 2, 3, go! Hey everybody, Kirk Nelson here from Pixel Pro Photography, and I am down here again at KelbyOne Studios in Oldsmar, Florida. This is Photoshop Secrets for Speed and Style. Deadlines are looming, and you have to work smart and fast. I'm going to show you some of the best Photoshop features to optimize your workflow so you can make Photoshop work better for you, and you can actually hit your deadlines with time to spare for some of the creative work. We're talking about custom smart objects. We're talking about actions, custom brushes, and you can actually hit your deadlines with time to spare for some of the creative work. Only here at KelbyOne.com.
Hello, my name is John Dukes, and I want to invite you to watch my KelbyOne class, Blue Hour Mastery, how to create dynamic cityscape photography. You're going to create photos that are going to impress everyone you show. People are going to get that wow effect. We're going to learn how to scout the location, what Blue Hour is, all the different levels of twilight that you could shoot your photo in, camera settings. We're going to talk about gear. We're going to talk about how to take that photo from being a snapshot to a gorgeous cityscape image that you're going to want to hang up on your wall. So come join me at KelbyOne.com. We're going to have a lot of fun.
Come join us at KelbyOneLive.com and build your photography skills online. Training is our expertise. Each of you deserves to master Adobe Lightroom. Learn from the best in the business with over 20 sessions. We are dedicated to making you proficient in Adobe Lightroom. Get a competitive advantage and access the digital library for a full year. It's time to join us.
All right, we're back. We've got some more critiques here, so we're going to do a few more, and then we'll be wrapping up with some prizes. But let's start with this one. So, boom. Well, I love all these because it's the lighting and the gestures, right? You know.
Yeah, and I like the I like that darker sort of moody feel to all of them. He sort of has a style of processing, I think, going on there, which is
Yeah.
good. The lighting is good.
Yeah, it's like, and that's what we're talking about. Like, one of the things that I don't think that the people might pass over with like this photo is the teapot and where he's holding the teapot, because he's holding the teapot against a lighter part of the wall. You can, if that was all dark in there, you wouldn't be able to tell what he's holding. But
right.
because the lighting is framing that, and because the teapot isn't running into the glasses down here,
Yeah.
you can tell what they're doing, you know,
Yeah.
or you can tell that they're pouring something into these. They could even be wax or light. I don't know what it is, but I know that he's doing something, and he's pouring something into those little glasses there. I don't know. What's your thoughts on this one?
Can you hear me right now?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Because I had myself muted. Sorry. So yeah, I mean, I honestly, I think that, like I said, like you said, he really is going for. He's got a style, and he's paying attention to where he's putting his subject and all that stuff. That's for sure.
Or her.
Or
His
her,
her.
yes.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is,
Yeah.
but
Mhm.
yeah, they're definitely doing that, and except for the only critique personally is that last shot there could have been a better pose, maybe.
This one.
That last, no, the other one,
This one.
the other one,
This one.
yeah, this one. Maybe could have been a better pose, but other than that,
Yeah.
I think it's great, really.
Yeah. My only thing with this one is he looks disconnected from what he's doing,
Right.
almost like you did pose him. You know, I'd almost rather him have the lighting on the side of his face and him being engaged with. It looks like he's using some kind of like sander or some kind of thing, but he's kind of like disengaged with it right now. I think, again, lighting wise, composition wise, you've got everything going. It's just, that's the only thing that I would say with these is that
Yeah.
this one he looks disconnected, and it could be
It looks like he's trying to
the
pose.
same problem I'm having here, you know. But
Yeah.
overall, I think it's great stuff, though.
Yep.
I love the quality of light, the composition, the gestures, where the people are, all that good stuff. All right. Got some Little League here. All right. Well,
The first thing, I mean, the
Definitely.
only thing that jumps to me with all of these photos again is just distractions. Like, especially this one, it's like your location, you're behind the cameraman or whoever that is.
well, so you got the ump there that's kind of killing the shot for what you're going for. Now, again, you could say, well, that's where I was positioned, but that's where, again, with that is a lot of times we're making those movements to get out of the way, or just that's just not the shot. But I like what you're going for. It just happens to be like, if you were just, this could be a matter of a foot to the right, and all this would have opened up here to where the umpire wouldn't be running into the player that's sliding in to home.
Yeah, but like the action itself, like I said, like imagine if he
And
wasn't
I would
there.
definitely crop in
Yeah, if
right
you
here.
cropped in to just those two that's where the
Yep.
action's happening and nothing
Yep.
else was visible, and then the cameraman or whoever that is wasn't there, that would have been an amazing shot.
Yeah,
You know?
you're saying I want to be in here,
Yeah.
but without this.
Without him, yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been an amazing shot.
Yeah, that would have been amazing. And this is good. I mean, obviously, you got the ball and he swung past it. You do need to kind of like maybe use the lens blur feature. I could see if that works, but if you use that lens
Yeah.
blur feature.
Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
distractions are much easier to fix these days, aren't they? With Lightroom.
Yeah. That's it. We'll see. It's analyzing. The only problem with that, it takes a little while.
It does.
Yeah, you can see how I can really crank that up. Now, I have to work on it, but at least you get some kind of upgrade to your lens. And then that's just a great reaction, like moment, like winning the game. You even have the other coach down there looking down, kind of like. But again, this is one where the more we can get the background to blur out, and that's why sports photographers are using the 2.8 lens, because it just blurs out the background a little bit more, zooming in tight. So, but I think you're doing great stuff in that you're getting the peak moments of action. So now it's just more getting in tighter, getting more wide open, and then working that background through like things like that lens blur feature. All right, and then here's the last one for today. So we're out of time, but last one here for today. All right, what do you think?
3 completely different shots.
Exactly. I was going to say the same thing. Like totally different shots. But let's take this as this landscape. What do you think?
I mean, this to me looks like you were on a hike in the middle of the day, you picked up your phone and you just took a shot, a snapshot. That's pretty much it. Yeah, sure, it's a beautiful spot probably, but if you shot it at the right time, if you paid attention to the composition of the foreground elements and all that, this could have been maybe a completely different story.
Yeah, so what you're saying there is you don't see anything in the foreground that's an anchor for you, right? These rocks over here are just distracting. This grass is just distracting. This grass is just distracting. It's not adding anything to the scene.
No, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then the time of day. I mean, that's dead, that's like midday shot, right?
Yeah. I like this one.
Yeah. This one's good. This one's
this is probably my favorite of the sequence. I think you could do a little bit more with the light, dodging and burning, and stuff like that. But I think overall, this is your strongest.
Yeah.
And then it's hard because she's facing away.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the girl's back.
I mean,
it's
don't get me
cute.
wrong.
There's no denying it's cute.
Yeah. I mean, when I put myself there and I think about the story, it's a great story.
Yeah.
But compositionally and for, when it comes to a photograph, you definitely want to see sort of more of her to see what she's doing, to see maybe sort of a little bit of her face at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, I like what they're doing here. I want to like the whole like setting up a scene and doing that. I like what you're doing there. I like what you're doing here. But that's just kind of like, it's okay. It's okay. All right. Well, there we go. All right. Well, let me see. There was any others that we could end on. No, we should probably end right there. Well, thanks for everybody that did submit images for the grid. I know it's always it's a hard thing to put your images out there, have somebody look at them. The worst, in my opinion, too, is if we were at a blind photo critique where we said, send me your raw images, that'd be an interesting one, right? Because it's like, oh my gosh, we could see the raw images. But I think maybe that might be something that would be interesting to do in the future would be to, because I know that Rammy and I have shared that topic before at our workshops that we run, is, well, because we'll have people turn in the raw images because we want to see what you're starting out with, because a lot of people don't realize that the file that Rammy's starting out with, like that file that you saw, like where the raw file is to where he ends up is totally different worlds, right?
Yeah.
And it's because you're intentionally shooting for it to have the most data and the most dynamic range and just all the stuff in the file that if you saw the raw file, you'd be like, Rammy's terrible, you know? But it's the post of developing the raw image and getting those colors out of it, that's where the skill lies, especially in landscape photography, as long as you're shooting at the right time of day. If you're shooting at the right time of day, you won't get those colors to like immediately pop out of your photo, you know, unless you were shooting JPEG. But that's the whole purpose of a raw file, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, you could do a lot. Like I always say, you can fix a lot in post-processing, but you cannot fix a bad composition and bad lighting.
Yep, we talk about that all the time. So that's a good way to leave it there. Is just remember that when you're looking at your photos in the future, you can't fix bad composition, you can't fix bad lighting. You can do a lot of other stuff, but those two things are like non-negotiables when it comes to photography. That's why we spend so much time harping on, especially with landscapes, get out there at the right time. And then also making sure that what you have in your frame, is it composed to where you're going to lead me through the scene? Because those are very important when it comes to landscape photography. All right, so we've got to give away some prizes on the show here. So let me see the prizes. So prizes. So we've got Ken Zuckerman is winning the night photography book. And then we've got Claudia Baldessera is winning the On One No Noise. Scott Manning's winning the Platypod. And then Leon Smith is winning Scott's new Lightroom book. And then the How Do I Do That in Lightroom book is going to Nikita Hendrickson. So, and what's great is you don't have to contact us. We're going to reach out to you and get your prize. So, all right. Well, that's it for today, folks. And we will be back next week. Next week, Scott will be back. He's going to be back from Switzerland, which I know, Rammy, he was saying thanks to you, because I know you helped him out with some spots. I was talking to him earlier this week. And because you've been to Switzerland a bunch doing workshops over there as well.
Oh, yeah,
so
they're going to have a blast there.
Yeah, they're having a blast. They're shooting right now. So I know I'm the weather I'm the forecasting person, so he's always contacting me for the forecasting. So hopefully they're getting some. I know they're going to be getting some amazing stuff. So I can't wait to see. So
yeah.
All right, everybody. Well, thanks for joining us, and we will see you guys here next week on the grid.
Join us at KelbyOneLive.com and build your photography skills online. Training is our expertise. Each of you deserves to master Adobe Lightroom. Learn from the best in the business with over 20 sessions. We are dedicated to making you proficient in Adobe Lightroom. Get a competitive advantage and access the digital library for a full year. It's time to join us.